Well, Riley was playing really well, and again, he was playing hard up to when he got hurt. He was playing hard on that play, and things, they just happen. And other guys will step up. That's why you got guys. That's why you have depth at positions. Guys have those opportunities. Unfortunately, when things like that happen, that's not really how you want guys to step up, but they need to. And you lose a really good player, you lose a leader on your team, you lose a guy, not being on the field like Riley, and it's happened to us at other positions. Other guys got to go out there and they've got to step up. Guys around them that have played, they've got to raise their game. It's not just the guy that comes in, it's everybody else that's been playing. They've got to continue to improve. So we have guys to do that. We'll get them ready to go this week. It is a challenge. I never ask, when's enough, really, because you don't do that. It's unfortunate. We're not the only team in America that's got guys that are banged up or hurt or out. And, it's just for him personally and for all those guys that have been injured, it's just that road ahead of them. That's what they've got to focus on and get themselves back. So you're trying to just stay positive with them and give them that vision of what it's going to look like when they get back and hopefully better.
What to you stands out the most about Fresno State's defense? I mean, you mentioned some of those numbers.
Sure.
I think they've given up 36 points in conference games. I mean,
yeah,
it's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
What's made them so good this year? They were good last year, obviously, but it does seem like they've taken another step this season.
Yeah, well, I think personnel. I think, one, their players are really good, and across the board. Start with the D-line, front seven, secondary. I mean, there's not really anybody there you're watching that is not meant to be on that field and not playing at a high level. They're all playing at a high level. They're all playing really well. They're consistent. They very rarely make mistakes, at least from what I've seen. I haven't gone through every single cut-up. But they show a lot of consistency, and they've done a good job of eliminating, what other teams do well, is what it looks like. So to me, that's the sign of a good defense. They tackle well. They pursue the ball. They're in position. They haven't given up a ton of big plays. So just the teams they played have struggled against them. And they seem to, you put up 3 points in a game, I think 3 times. That's hard to do. So that tells me that a team plays all 4 quarters. Because you might get a good defense, go out there and they'll play for 2 quarters. They might play for 3, and then they back off and somebody gets a late, cheap touchdown or something like that. That hasn't happened in those games. So they're playing consistent. They got really good personnel. I think their coaches are doing a really good job getting them prepared each week for the game. And when you're able to do that defensively, and then offensively what they're doing as well, I mean, they're playing together and they're playing, really good, consistent football, and that's why they're in the position they're in. I really don't. I mean, again, they've done a great job. All those things, they're factors. That's not really the focus. I hope we're not different than we are week in and week out. It's not like one week we come in and say, now we're playing a ranked team, let's go really hard this week. We try to be consistent week in and week out, and I don't see that being any different. We're preparing today with film. We'll go out and practice tomorrow, and we should have the same sense of urgency and focus when we go out there and practice regardless. We got to take care of our prep before we actually go play. At the end of the week, if we're ready to go, then we can go out there and play our best football, which we'll need to against Fresno.